McMullan, either through the Senate or the House of Representatives. I've been representing this area virtually unchanged. There was a brief period when my area of responsibility geographically was slightly different since I was elected to Parliament nearly 20 years ago, and I've seen some dramatic changes. When I first started to come out here, when you said you would go to the shop, you meant those shops there. That was it, the Palmerston shops. They were the only, and so before I started to come out, there'd actually been a demountable, well, shops before those. Well, I don't remember that, but I do remember when there was only one set of shops here. And over that time, I've seen this area, it seems to me, the town centre least well served by government. And that at the moment is affected federally in two particular ways: employment and transport. The employment, I've been campaigning about this for a long time, but in a high profile way since May, and I welcome coming out and talking to you all at the GCC in July about it. There is at the moment no central process by which the government seeks to influence where departments locate themselves. And as was always the case, once they made that decision, they've all gravitated to civic and parliament, because that's where all the secretaries want to be. And it will both be cheaper and fairer if we disperse that employment. And I have drafted a bit of a plan about how I think that might be done, through some requirements about the Commonwealth being a good corporate citizen, probably driven by the Public Service Commission, but alternatively do it through the Department of Finance. And that will lead inevitably to the decentralisation of employment, not just in Gungahlin, but this will be, Gungahlin will be the biggest beneficiary because it's the place that has been least well served by it. So that's my number one objective for the whole of the Fraser electorate, and particularly for Gungahlin, to make it back. The transport issue that I've been focusing on that affects Gungahlin, it actually isn't in Gungahlin. It's called the traffic congestion at the airport.
Yes.
That crisis at the end of the road from here, which affects people every morning. And that has been the number one transport issue I've been focusing on, because it has a significant federal component. And we've made a commitment at this election to do stage 2. The stage 1's already been announced by the ACT government with the airport, which will help the access issue to the airport, but the Majura Road extension and those things are desperately needed, and we have made a commitment about that. So those are my number two. That's my number 2 local priority issue. Kate and I have been debating the broadband issue out here for ages, and so I'll leave Kate to talk about that. On the climate change question, we do need to do, it's a very big issue we can talk about all night, but there are some core things of differentiation. The most fundamental is signing Kyoto Protocol and setting some targets, both long-term targets and in the immediate, some serious mandatory renewable energy targets that drive investment in renewable energy. We are currently driving investment in renewable energy, we're driving it overseas. There are great Australian companies developed renewable energy and doing it in countries that have decent incentives. In Europe, in Asia, but not in Australia. And we need to drive it so they invest here. After that, answer your question.